Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived an old lady. She was very old. Her hair was silver, her face full of gentle wrinkles. But her eyes, they were bright, full of kindness and always shining with peace. Everyone in the village loved her. Why? Because she was always smiling. Even when life was hard, even when she was alone, she never complained. Her husband had passed away many years ago. She had no children. She lived in a small house under a big banyan tree. Yet every day she sat outside, greeted people, and spread happiness with her words. The villagers, however, were not always happy. Life in the village was tough. Some were farmers, some were carpenters, some sold vegetables in the small market. But sometimes the rains failed, the crops dried, or sickness struck the families. People often felt worried and hopeless. One afternoon, a young woman named Rada came to the old lady. Her eyes were red from crying. "Mother," she said, "I don't know what to do. My husband went to the city to find work, but he hasn't sent us any money. My children are hungry. I'm so scared." The old lady held her hand and smiled gently. "Sit down, my child. Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Rada shook her head. "I feel like something bad will happen. What if my husband doesn't find work? What if he forgets about us?" The old lady listened carefully. Then she said softly, "My dear, when we think bad thoughts, our heart becomes heavy. But when we think good thoughts, our heart becomes light. And sometimes, good things follow." Rada whispered, "But how can I think good thoughts when everything feels so bad?" The old lady smiled again. "Let me tell you a story." She began. "Once, there was a poor man. He had no food, no family, no money. He sat by the river, crying. An old woman came to him and asked, 'Why are you crying?' The man said, 'I have nothing. How can I be happy?' The woman pointed at the river and said, 'You have this river. Look at the trees, the sun, the birds. The world is full of beauty. If you only look at what you don't have, you will always be sad. But if you notice what you do have, you will find peace.'" The poor man listened. Slowly, he wiped his tears. He began to see the green trees, the flowing water, the golden sun. His heart felt lighter. From that day, he lived with gratitude. His life began to change, not because of magic, but because of his thinking. The old lady finished her story and looked at Rada. "You see, my dear, life does not change in one moment. But if we change our thoughts, our heart becomes strong. And with a strong heart, we can face any problem." Rada thought deeply. "So, if I think positive, will my life really change?" "Yes," the old lady nodded. "Every morning, wake up and tell yourself, 'Today will be a good day.' You will find strength to care for your children and hope to wait for your husband. But if you only think of problems, your heart will remain weak." Rada wiped her tears and smiled for the first time. "I understand. I will try." From that day, Rada began her mornings with hope. She worked hard, cared for her children, and repeated the words, "Today will be a good day." Weeks later, a letter arrived. Her husband had found a job in the city and was sending money home. Overjoyed, Rada ran to the old lady's house. "Mother, you were right. My husband has work. Our life will be better now." The old lady smiled and said, "You see, my child, problems will always come. But when you keep hope in your heart, you invite good things into your life." Word spread through the village about her wisdom. People came with their worries. And the old lady always gave the same advice: think good thoughts and good will come. Soon the entire village changed. People became more hopeful, stronger, and happier. And all because one old lady taught them the secret of life. Positive thinking is the key to peace.